Hey everybody, welcome back to the second video for the red cedar serving dishes. Today we're going to go over cleaning up the edges on the outside here, get all this bark off of it, clean it up real nice, make it nice and smooth. So first thing that we want to do is we want to get all the bark off. So let's jump right into this. We're going to start with the screwdriver and we're going to peel off some of this bark. You can see all this bark on here that has to come off. We're just going to chip away at it, you know, just like that. Alright, so let's do that. Let's get all this big chunk off of here. It just peels right off. This log has been out back for, well, we've been here for 3 years. It's been longer than we've been here. So just go right in there and just kind of shave it right off. Kind of go right down straight with the wood so that you don't gouge it. If you do, don't worry about it. You can make that part of the design. Throw it in there, chip that right out. You want to make sure this is going to get nice and smooth. Okay, so now that we have the bark mostly peeled off here, let's see, a little piece right there. Alright, we're going to right over into the drill. So, just hold your piece nice on the table, firm, and go right at it. Always wear eye protection when you're doing this. Little pieces fly right off, they get right in your eye. It's not a good day. Get all that soft stuff out of there. Okay, so we got most of that bark off of there, most of the rough stuff. I still have a little piece bark right here. We'll get that off. This loose stuff out of here. See all that dust flying up at me? That's why you really want to wear breathing protection. It's not good for you. Okay, so my personal preference, I'm just going to use my standard DA. Hold on. I forgot my dust mask. Alright, so for the sanding, I'm just going to use my 5-inch DA sander. This is good enough to get right in there and do what we got to do. Now for this, I am going to wear my breathing protection, so I hope it doesn't affect too much on the sound on the video. So all you gotta do is just sand this nice. I'm using 80 grit sandpaper, and we're just gonna tear right into this. See how nice that got cleaned up? It's real pretty. Real pretty. Look at that grain. That end grain is just awesome. And once this is all sanded down to 220 and we get this all oiled up, that's going to just show every little line in there. It's beautiful. Okay, friends. So now that we have this cleaned up, we're going to figure out which side we want to use as the actual dish part. So just take a look and see which side you like the best. I think, for me, I like how this curves up. So I'm going to make this the top side of this bowl. Now this has a lot of really small sections on it, so I don't want a chance breaking any of this. So we're going to keep our lines well within here. Alright, so we're just going to take an ink pen and we're going to look this over and see what kind of shape we want to give it. Now you want to give yourself about a ½ an inch around the edges. That way you don't have to worry about it really tearing out when you dig this with the router, because it can crack. So we're just going to come in here like this. Draw ourselves a nice little line, kind of follow the shape of the log. Just take your time. If you have any specific designs that you want to make in it, that's cool. Do your thing, man. Okay, we're over at the drill press. We're going to take out a bunch of the material with a Forstner bit. That way, we can come back and we'll already have our depth to our bowl when we use the bowl router to go through and really shape it up. So let's see. Use one of my medium-sized bits here. You want to set your drill depth so that you have at least a ½ an inch left on the bottom of the bowl when you're done. Looks like that's going to be nice and deep. Get this material out. Okay, so we have a rough shape. It's starting to look kind of like a bowl. I'm going to clean out some of this with a sander, and then we'll get to the actual routing on it. Normally when you're making these dishes, these bowls, you'll have a template. But because we're doing this with a live edge and we're just going to make our own contour, it's a little more difficult. So we're just going to take sander and probably some hand sandpaper and clean up some of these ridges here that were left, and then we'll have us a pretty decent bowl started, and then we can just route right into it to our final depth. So we're going to jump right into sanding it down. Turn it right up on its side. Go to town. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It's kind of cool design. See right in there? We got our bowl. So let's get the router set up. The base plate that I'm putting on here is homemade. I had to route out a bowl a couple months ago, and I didn't have a big enough base plate for my router, so I made one. You can do this at home with a sheet of plexiglass, and if anybody's interested, we can make a video and I can show you how to do that. What this base plate does is it gives you a nice wide surface that rides over the entirety of the bowl so that you can keep your router nice and flat. Just that much. We're going to get us a nice starting point. We're going to drop her right in. Nice and tight. Now the whole time I'm doing this, I keep everything unplugged. You do not want to turn that on by accident. Okay, let's find us a good starting point on here, and we will dig in. Glitter. Alright, see how it's starting to route out that bottom there. Got a couple of flecks, but not a big deal. That'll smooth out with sanding. So we're going to keep doing this. Probably take 4 passes total. Okay, so we are all routed out, and it's starting to look really cool. I like the depth of the bowl. That's pretty good. I mean, if you're putting some peanuts or something in there, you know, or even some loose change, that's going to be pretty neat. So now we have to sand this all smooth. So you know what that means. Lots of fun. Now I'm doing this on my table saw, and with that metal table, it can leave some marks. You don't want to do that. So we're going to use some plywood. We're going to set this piece right down on top of the plywood so that we don't get any black marks on it. Brush all that chips off and dust off. Well, that's the sanding with the 120, and you can already start to see how awesome this grain is starting to look. It's getting nice and smooth all the way around. Come back next time for part 3, and I'll show you how to fill all these cracks and totally finish this. So, until next time, thank you for watching.